The air crackled with excitement. Families strolled, children squealed, another perfect fall day at the Fort Collins Balloon Festival. Then, gasps. A hot air balloon, the spirit of Colorado, tore free from its tethers, a small figure silhouetted against the rising sun. 12-year-old Falcon Heen was alone, soaring into the Colorado sky. Panic rippled through the crowd like a shockwave. Mothers clutched children, pointing in disbelief. Had they just witnessed a tragic accident? The balloon, a whimsical pumpkin shape, became a terrifying symbol of fear as it climbed higher, shrinking into the vast blue canvas. Minutes stretched, each one an eternity. Someone called 911, their voice trembling. News crews alerted to the unfolding drama scrambled to the scene. The spirit of Colorado, carrying its innocent cargo, was now a national spectacle, its journey broadcast live on every television screen. Inside the runaway balloon, Falcon Heen was far from the panicked scene below. The world outside the balloon was a blur of colors and shapes, a stark contrast to the stillness inside. Falcon, a young boy with a curious mind, found himself in an unimaginable situation. The balloon, meant for a family adventure, had become a vessel of fear and uncertainty. He later described huddling in the basket's bottom, scared by the silence and the ever-expanding view. The silence was deafening, broken only by the occasional creak of the balloon's wicker basket. Falcon's heart raced as he peered over the edge, the ground below becoming a distant memory. He clutched the sides of the basket, his small hands trembling. The world he knew, his parents, the festival, the familiar Colorado landscape, shrunk to miniature size. From his vantage point, everything seemed so small, so insignificant. The houses, the trees, the roads, all looked like tiny toys in a vast play set. The festival, which had been a source of joy and excitement, was now just a speck on the horizon. Down below, a frantic search was underway. Parents, friends, and strangers alike scoured the fields, their eyes scanning the skies for any sign of the balloon. The community had come together, united by a common goal, to bring Falcon back safely. The sense of urgency was palpable, every second feeling like an eternity. Helicopters buzzed like giant dragonflies, their shadows chasing the runaway balloon across the plains. The sound of their rotors filled the air, a constant reminder of the ongoing search. Pilots communicated over radios, coordinating their efforts to track the balloon's unpredictable path. The chase was on, and the stakes were high. Police and volunteers fanned out, searching for any sign of a landing, a crash, anything. They combed through fields, forests, and open plains, their eyes never leaving the sky. Every rustle in the grass, every shadow cast by the setting sun was a potential clue. The search was exhaustive, but the hope of finding Falcon kept them going. Hope flickered, fragile and fading with each passing moment. The crowd below watched with bated breath, their emotions swinging between hope and despair. Parents held their children close, whispering words of comfort. The tension was almost unbearable, each minute feeling like an hour. As the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the plains, the balloon finally began its descent. The golden hues of the sunset painted the sky, a stark contrast to the anxiety below. The balloon's descent was slow, almost graceful, as if it were a leaf floating down from a tree. The moment of truth was approaching. It touched down, miles from its launch site, in a field. Falcon was safe. The relief was immediate and overwhelming. Falcon stepped out of the basket, his legs shaky but unharmed. The field, once a place of uncertainty, was now a sanctuary. The nightmare was over, and Falcon was back on solid ground. Relief washed over the nation, followed by an outpouring of joy and gratitude. People hugged, cried, and celebrated the safe return of the young boy. The community's efforts had paid off, and the sense of unity was stronger than ever. The story of Falcon's adventure would be told for years to come, a testament to the power of hope and perseverance. But this was only the beginning. The events of that day would spark conversations, debates, and reflections on safety, community, and the unpredictable nature of life. As the night sky enveloped the field, the world took a collective breath, grateful for the safe return of a child and the reminder of what truly matters. The story of Falcon Heen, the balloon boy, captivated the nation. News channels provided non-stop coverage, their cameras glued to the unfolding drama. Social media exploded with prayers, speculation, and armchair quarterbacking. The world held its breath, united in worry for the young boy adrift. Interviews with Falcon's tearful parents, Richard and Mayumi Heen, only intensified the drama. They spoke of their terror, their relief at his safe return. America embraced them, offering sympathy and support. The family became overnight celebrities, their faces plastered across newspapers and websites. But as the dust settled, questions arose. Some details didn't add up. The family's behavior, their eagerness to appear on talk shows, struck some as odd. Whispers of a publicity stunt began to circulate, casting a shadow over the heartwarming narrative. A race against time helicopters, prayers, and finger-pointing. The sky buzzed with the sound of rotor blades as emergency helicopters scoured the countryside. The urgency was palpable, with every second ticking away like a heartbeat. The community held its breath, united in a collective prayer for a miracle. But beneath the surface, whispers of doubt began to emerge. The drama of the rescue unfolded against a backdrop of mounting suspicion. Onlookers gathered, their faces etched with worry and confusion. The police and emergency teams worked tirelessly, their determination unwavering. Yet, as the hours passed, the initial hope began to wane, replaced by a gnawing sense of unease. What if there was more to this story than met the eye? Authorities, initially focused solely on finding Falcon, began to scrutinize the events leading up to the balloon's launch. Conversations with the worried parents grew more probing, and the launch site became a focal point of investigation. What had seemed like a straightforward rescue mission was now clouded by questions. Had there been any signs of foul play? Were there any inconsistencies in the family's account? Had proper safety protocols been followed? Inspectors meticulously examined the safety equipment, their eyes scanning for any irregularities. The hot air balloon, once a symbol of adventure and freedom, was now under intense scrutiny. Every detail was analyzed, every possibility considered. The stakes were high, and the truth needed to be uncovered. Were the Heens victims of a freak accident or something more calculated? The family, visibly distressed, faced a barrage of questions from investigative authorities. Their emotions ran high, a mix of fear, confusion, and desperation. The line between victim and perpetrator blurred, leaving everyone grappling with uncertainty. What had really happened on that fateful day? Scrutiny intensified when authorities discovered that the balloon was equipped with a camera. This revelation added a new layer of complexity to the investigation. Why was there a camera on the balloon? Was it merely a precaution, or did it serve a more sinister purpose? The discovery fueled speculation and deepened the mystery. Footage showed Falcon hiding in the attic of the family home, contradicting earlier claims that he had been in the basket all along. This pivotal moment shifted the narrative dramatically. The initial story of a child lost in the sky was now in question. How had Falcon ended up in the attic? And why had the family insisted he was in the balloon? The pieces of the puzzle were not fitting together. The Balloon Boy incident was no longer a heartwarming tale of survival, it was shaping up to be a carefully orchestrated hoax. News reporters swarmed the scene, their cameras capturing every twist and turn. The public, glued to their screens, watched in disbelief as the story unfolded. What had started as a rescue mission was now a sensational media spectacle. Public opinion, once firmly in the Heens' corner, began to shift. Conversations at newsstands and in living rooms took on a different tone. Doubt and skepticism replaced the initial outpouring of sympathy. People questioned the family's motives and the authenticity of their story. The tide of public sentiment was turning, sympathy morphed into skepticism, then outrage. The community, feeling betrayed, expressed their anger and frustration. Signs of protest appeared, and voices of dissent grew louder. The Heens, once seen as victims, were now at the center of a storm of controversy. The emotional roller coaster of the incident left a lasting impact on everyone involved. How could they put their child at risk for fame? This question echoed in the minds of many. The family's actions were scrutinized under the harsh light of media attention. The Heens' pursuit of fame had led them down a dangerous path, one that put their child's safety in jeopardy. The public's trust was shattered and the family's reputation was in tatters. The family, once hailed as heroes, now faced accusations of child endangerment and orchestrating a public deception. The courtroom became the final stage of this dramatic saga. The Heens stood trial, their fate hanging in the balance. The investigation at home continued, uncovering more details about their actions and intentions. The story of the Balloon Boy had come full circle, leaving a trail of questions and a community forever changed. Homecoming marred by controversy, relief, then the storm. The Heen family, once anonymous, was thrust into the national spotlight. The balloon landing was just the beginning of the story. What seemed like a miraculous rescue quickly turned into a media frenzy. While the nation breathed a collective sigh of relief, the Heens found themselves facing a different kind of pressure. The media, relentless in their pursuit of the next big story, swarmed the family. The media, hungry for every detail, descended upon them. Cameras flashed, microphones were thrust forward, and questions were shouted from all directions. Talk show hosts clamored for interviews. Morning shows, evening news, and even late-night talk shows wanted a piece of the Heaney family. The family, initially cooperative and eager to share their experience, began to crack under the scrutiny. The constant attention and probing questions took their toll. Inconsistencies in their story emerged. What started as a thrilling tale of survival began to unravel under the weight of public and media scrutiny. Richard Heen, a self-proclaimed storm chaser and inventor, became increasingly defensive and erratic during interviews. His behavior raised more questions than it answered. The public, once captivated by their ordeal, began to sense something wasn't right. Speculation and doubt spread like wildfire. Then, the truth unraveled. Authorities, piecing together evidence and scrutinizing the family's conflicting accounts, concluded that the entire incident had been staged. The investigation revealed a web of lies and deceit. The Balloon Boy saga, it turned out, was a calculated publicity stunt gone wrong, a desperate grab for fame with a child's safety at stake. The Heens' quest for attention had backfired spectacularly, leaving them to face the consequences of their actions.